Hello everyone, my name is Eva Araneda and today I will be speaking to you about the damage we have done to our planet. Over the past 50 years, our world has evolved to a much newer, more technological state, and this has brought with it many of the global devastations we face today. Reckless human activity has influenced issues such as overfishing, the addition of excess plastic and garbage pollution put into our land habitats and especially oceans, as well as the overuse of fossil fuels that contributes to the even more looming climate change. Within the past centuries, humans have begun to destroy our planet in detrimental ways. For decades, people have been damaging entire species with greed from the global issue of overfishing. Overfishing is when fish are caught faster than they are able to replenish themselves. This is caused by massive fishing fleets that remove more than 2.5 times the amount of fish actually needed for the fish market. Overfishing is also closely tied to bycatch, the capture of unwanted sea life while fishing for a different species. Bycatch is another serious marine threat that causes the needless loss of billions of fish. Fish is one of the world's highest traded food commodities, and a high demand drives the overfishing issue. Overfishing is only made worse by the illegal catch trades, which is culpable for some of the worst impacts on the ocean. When fish are caught illegally, unregulated and pervasive fishing is common, and ocean floors are regularly destroyed in the process. Coral reefs experience the most damage, with floor sweepers effortlessly killing corals and taking away ecosystems for many fish. Decades of destructive fishing has resulted in the steady decline of many fish populations, including the bluefin tuna and the Chilean sea bass, and has changed the size of fish remaining, as well as how they reproduce and the speed at which they mature. Our ocean's fish populations are not only being negatively affected by overfishing, but also by the global issue of plastic and garbage pollution. Since the production of the first plastic, Bakelite, in 1907, the plastic industry has grown exponentially to what it is today. In 2015, the world produced an astounding 381 million tons of plastic and has followed a steady increase in production, with much of it ending up back into our water sources and environments. High-income countries generally have the most effective waste management systems, leaving the least amount of plastic waste in nearby waters, while many middle and low-income countries, which account for the majority of countries, have poor waste management systems and much of their waste spill into our oceans. Plastic and waste from coastal regions account for 97% of the plastic in the oceans, with 80% of waste and water being from land-based sources and 20% from marine. This affects ocean life drastically, regularly killing countless animals from the ingestion of plastic and becoming entrapped by the bountiful amounts of plastic in their environments. There are even areas in our oceans that span thousands of miles containing tens of thousands of tons of garbage. Places such as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, with an estimated 100,000 tons of garbage. Plastic and garbage infested areas like these do nothing but harm the aquatic life and ecosystems surrounding it. Another critical issue our world faces is the use and combustion of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are fuels that were formed from the fossilized buried remains of plants and animals that lived millions of years ago. Their origin gives these fuels a high carbon content along with a handful of other harmful chemicals. The carbon dioxide released into the Earth's atmosphere from their combustion contributes strongly to the greenhouse effect our world is experiencing today and is effectively helping to warm our planet. Fossil fuels have also been proven to emit harmful air pollutants even before they have combusted. Chemicals such as benzene, which is linked to leukemia and blood disorders, and formaldehyde, a chemical known to cause various cancers, are commonly released into the air from active oil and gas wells, as well as from the transport and processing facilities of fossil fuels. They are also directly linked to the increase of the ocean's acidity levels, as the water absorbs up to much of a quarter of all man-made carbon emissions. The acidity has risen by more than 30% in the past 50 years, slowing marine animal growth rates, weakening shells, and affecting entire food chains. Fossil fuels, although convenient and commonly used, cause tremendous short and long-term consequences to the health of our planet. The use of fossil fuels has influenced another very pressing issue our world faces today: climate change. Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and mainly within the past 35 years, our atmosphere has changed for the worse due to human activities such as the regular cultivation of fossil fuels, mass deforestation, and factory farming. The greenhouse effect has become a popular term among climate change researchers, used to describe the warming that results when the atmosphere traps heat radiating from Earth towards space. The greenhouse effect is mainly accredited to carbon dioxide, but is also strongly influenced by methane and chlorofluorocarbons, along with many other chemicals which yield a smaller effect. Carbon dioxide is recognized as the most important long-lived forcing of climate change. Carbon dioxide became an issue for our atmosphere when the combustion of fossil fuels and mass deforestation became popularized. Both processes not only harm the face of the planet but emit massive amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, blocking the infrared radiation from the Earth's surface from escaping into space and in turn warming the planet. The warming of our planet has influenced billions of tons of ice to melt yearly from cold regions, raise water levels, and damage ecosystems. It has killed off entire species and is on the verge of many more. Human activities over the past 50 years has been accredited to 95% of the cause of climate change today, and our situation is continuing to worsen. Overfishing, plastic pollution, the use of fossil fuels, and the result of climate change are all global catastrophes of today that are completely influenced by human activities. For decades, people have been taught to turn a blind eye to the impact we've had to the health of our planet, and the real consequences for their actions are finally starting to show true colors. It is important to understand that if we do not make a change for the better soon, a change will no longer be able to be made. Thank you all for listening to my presentation today, and here are the sources that I received my information from.